Use it all,
good.
and then you get.
Good job.
Maybe be there for an hour. And you'll get the best.
Really good.
And he didn't charge me.
I was planning.
What, it was like a.
Yeah, because you got to.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have, whoever put it in didn't have a slope.
Do dishes tonight at
Yeah.
I said.
Well,
starting at 5. We tell you.
Cut it out.
Read it out.
probably would cut it out.
The new piece in.
Yeah, with very, yeah, we don't, we depend on, it's too much shit down our garbage disposal on day in it. And if it went down and horizontal, then it took a.
I need to, I'll never, I need to take my spot.
Okay, I'm sorry.
How are you doing?
Man.
We got going and get Latino.
No, he said you should go to
That's
this.
the Dave thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hi, Ashley.
How are you today?
I'm good, thanks.
Right.
I wrote my, what do you call it, my.
He's got a thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I wrote it off. Yeah, my hog last night.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Fun. Yeah.
Oh, the meeting to order, 3:00. First order of business, approval of the minutes from June 5th, 2025. A motion,
Yeah, I can make that motion.
a second, or any changes to them.
I will second it.
Favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Public comment limit of 3 minutes per person with maximum public comment of 30 minutes on this agenda items. They're not public, I'm talking at all.
Never know.
Have any public comment?
You make it public.
Good. I've been known to happen. No public comment, we'll move on. Discussion and possible motion, suggested policy. Board communication. Who wants to do that?
Did you want to present that?
I can. Some of you might remember at our last board meeting, one of our colleagues made mention of a letter that all board members had received. And became obvious that all the board members got the letter, but nobody else got it. So Ashley and anyone else that might have been able to address any of the questions or whatever had no foreknowledge of that letter. So it occurred to me that we should create a policy that establishes a communication method for such kind of communication. So if the board is getting a letter or a committee is getting a letter, it would be the responsibility to forward that to anyone who needs to know, including the administrative coordinator, perhaps the corporation counsel, and any other elected or appointed officials who might need to know. So I asked Ashley if she would create a written policy for us to consider. And the Chairman Undershoots also sort of concurred that he thought a policy of this nature would be appropriate. So that's where it came from.
Well, just a couple of things I'll note in the policy. There were exceptions. So number 3, I think I think Chair Untershoots had mentioned something about putting some exceptions in. So number 3 does list the protocol not applying to some of this. Also, it's not a requirement. It doesn't say, must be. It says encouraged to forward communications. I think in the example that Supervisor Willingham is talking about, the highway commissioner was unaware of that communication as well, and I believe he would have had relevant things to say too. So again, nothing in the policy is a requirement. It's just an encouragement for kind of opening the lines of communication.
So I think the problem with these things when they come in is they come to the 17 of us, right? And so everyone thinks I'm doing it. I think Jim's doing it. You know, nobody knows. It's nice that it specifies it would either be chair or the committee chair to afford it, because you don't want it 17 times, but you don't want it 0 times.
Yeah, thank you for sending it to me last time. Yeah, I only got it one time and it was from you.
My concern was is that I felt embarrassed for Ashley because people in the public are thinking, "Phew, she doesn't know what's going on." But it wasn't her fault that she didn't know it. And so, you know, I just figured we needed to have a way of making sure that that kind of embarrassment doesn't occur.
Or limits it.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody else?
So why is it coming through this committee though? I mean, this just seems like, why is it department personnel?
I suppose because it was my suggestion that that the board create such a policy that Mr. Undershoots thought it probably should have known better than think I would have any influence over the committees. But anyway, you know, it needed to go to a committee. I suppose it could have gone to
I don't know where else.
finance or whatever, but
I think you picked the right spot.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where policy is usually established. To be
somewhere along the line is that, you know, whatever happens or whatever we do with it, it would have to be approved by the board anyway. So
right.
just,
So what's the next move?
Well, I'd appreciate any feedback. I think Dave and I would appreciate any feedback you guys have on this. If you think it's too broad, if you think it's too specific, if you think that this doesn't need to be a policy, if it should just be professional
Well,
courtesy,
it's-
whatever.
It's more of a guideline.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like the Pirates Code,
Yeah.
you know?
I have a couple concerns that we probably should address. So on highway, I get quite a few of these. And some are just a general, the highway committee.
You get quite a few letters from outside.
Yes.
Okay.
Some of them are constructive criticism or aimed at being constructive criticism at how we're doing things there. Some of them are questions. I'm gonna leave it broad at that. Some of them are, I guess, could be viewed as just complaints. What always makes me nervous about that is this whole process is for that one time to someone to respond all or something, you know, with the whole committee back to an individual. So should we focus on that in here somewhere too and remind them? Maybe focus on that. I don't know. I'm just throwing out, I'm spitballing there. I don't want to get in one of those situations where somebody accidentally does a boo-boo. And I get your point when that whole thing came up. I don't like to talk about them in meetings because you don't know who got privy to it or not. And the only reason I made the comment I did, I was trying to clarify because it sounded like some didn't get it. But I felt like afterwards, I'm like, I wish I wouldn't have commented at all when it came up, but it had already been thrown out there, so to speak.
yeah, I understand that. I think part of the issue too is that if a constituent or a member of the public takes the time to write a letter to all the board and it never gets mentioned, I think they feel like they blew me off. So, you know, I don't know that we should have a rule that says if somebody sends us all a letter, we need to bring it up in the discussion at the next board meeting. But I was primarily concerned that it was brought up. You know, the same thing could happen if somebody said something in public comment and all the board knew about it except the administrative coordinator or the corporation counsel or something else. So just gives, I think, people an opportunity to be prepared to answer questions if they come up. And I think with the highway committee, I would presume that for the most part, if you got a letter, you would probably share it with your committee, but not necessarily with the whole board.
The ones I've seen have been addressed to the whole committee, and I guess maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I always felt it was the chair's responsibility to decide if he wished to address that or not.
But do they, you know, it would, the same thing could happen. You could all get a letter and you go to a meeting and somebody mentions a letter and the highway commissioner sitting there saying, oh, I don't know anything about that. So then they're not prepared to answer any questions about it. Then that just looks bad to the public, I think.
I get where you're going.
I mean, to me, it's not vague, but it's open enough that you don't have to. I mean, we can all hopefully have enough judgment to forward something that's gonna end up blowing up in our face. But I kind of like it because it does keep everybody in the loop then.
Well, I think, you know, in reference to item number 3 about protocol, I think most of us would be able to sort that protocol out
I would think.
for anything that came to us. But if there was something that was a little bit iffy, then I think you might consult with the board chair or corporation counsel and say, is this appropriate for me to send to the administrative coordinator or someone else or not? You know, just seek some advice and guidance.
So should one be encouraged to forward the communication to the administrative coordinator and the department chair? Is there a reason why, like, I'm thinking of, we got a lot of emails on Excelsior Road.
Oh.
Want all of those, and they went to all of us.
I would say, so it says the administrative coordinator or relevant department head. I would say I would ensure that the forest administrator is seeing those because.
But in one, it just says forwarded to you, and then you would then share. So it seems like if we're sending it in one, we should send it to you and to the department chair.
Sure. Yeah, that can be added in, not a problem.
Like he said, you know, like we would have told Justin when we told you about the example that prompted this. But I think you might be surprised at some of the volume of emails that we get on some
I also think
topics.
that will help governance though, because if the board is the policy maker, but if a department head isn't fully understanding the public's opinion on something or what's bothering the public or what they're seeing as problems, how can the department head then try to come up with solutions to that?
I get it, but I'm pretty sure Jared's was the controversy associated with Excelsior Road, since we talk about it every single opportunity.
Yeah.
It could possibly come up, so.
In that case, the chair would probably know them and maybe wouldn't forward it on to, you know, because the policy doesn't require that they.
And some of them are not complimentary as others, but I'm, because
Yeah.
this too.
Well, and the fact of the matter is that it's a public record.
Yeah,
I mean,
right, anything in the email is.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that in one, if we're gonna do this, we forward it to the relevant department head and the administrative coordinator.
Okay.
And then where is this like embodied? Where does this go after it gets passed?
So it goes on the Z drive, something that we should probably implement in the county that we would like to is an administrative manual, which we don't have. But right now, all of our board level policies are posted on the Z Drive.
You know, this, obviously this is going forward, but we have a lot of, you know, unwritten policies too, but somewhere along the line in our new board member orientation, there should be some, you know, going through those policies so that, you know, new members know what's going on and what the policies and procedures are. So.
Anybody else? Jim, you good?
I just read a little bit more down.
Yeah, were there any questions on the second part, the meeting preparation? This has come up a couple times in the last several months. Like great questions from committee members, but a lot of times the department head can't, on the fly, like calculate a fiscal impact, or on the fly, they might not know the statute number or something like that. So again, just, it would be appreciated if you have like specific questions for a department head, just getting to them in advance. That might make meetings
Mhm.
flow a little bit better.
Yep.
Once again, this is just an encouragement, but
Great, yep.
you know, I think good governance doesn't encourage gotchas. You know, I mean.
Yeah,
if
that's,
you-
that was, I was just gonna say that.
If you've
I
got
don't
a
want that thing
legitimate
to turn
question
into
that-
a, well, I
that is-
told you
Yeah, right. It's,
yesterday at noon,
so,
we'll have to shut that down.
Being this is a communication policy, do you think we should put in there that board members are encouraged to not reply all? I mean, I know you guys are all putting it at the bottom of your email.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think we
is
should
this the place to do
we should
it?
all be required to have that tattooed on the inside of our eyelids because.
Well, I know, but sometimes we have newer folks on here that don't know, nothing, not to pick on anyone, but just as a reminder, is this the place to do it? I'm just asking. I don't know.
It can't hurt.
Where would you put
So
it?
let me give you something that never made any sense to me. So we were told that we couldn't reply all. And I was also told that you could copy the exact letter message and paste it into a new email and address it to all the board members and send it. And that wouldn't be a problem.
I think
That's the
that's the same thing.
That is, but that
Who would tell you?
that was my understanding from
Don't say it.
Mr. Summerfield. I can't.
That's the same thing.
I don't know. Every now and then you hear something a little wacky that makes you go,
It's
huh?
an answer to a question, so.
okay.
I would not do that.
No, but it didn't make any sense to me at the time, but lots of things don't make sense to me, but. Well, wait a minute.
Well, I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, if you guys don't think this is the place to put it, that's fine. I guess I'm not 100% sure where to put it, but
You just add another sentence at the end of one,
Yeah.
because it says encouraged to forward the communication to blah, blah. Do not reply to all.
Just remember to,
Do not reply to all when doing it, or don't copy anybody else or. Oh,
copy and paste it to everybody.
Okay, so just a note, right? at the
Yeah.
end of that
another
sentence.
sentence.
I think it's a good place to have a reminder, as long as we're
Yeah.
doing this.
Do not reply to all and CC the administrative coordinator and department head.
Cause I could see someone going, well, I probably should let the whole committee know
Know
that
that
I'm
I
sending
did.
this to them.
So that you don't get it 17 times or 5 times or.
pretty clear that it's board chair or committee chair, so that. Is that out?
You should get it 2 times. Phil's the committee chair.
Anything else?
Well, I think what you guys mean here, board chair would forward on county board things.
That was the intent.
Administrative coordinator and committee chairs would,
Yeah.
stuff that's just addressed to a committee.
You don't know.
Meant here, yeah.
So if it goes to everybody, then the board chair sends it. If it only goes to a committee, then the committee chair sends it. You know, a lot of times we get it that day too, depending on what it is. So,
Yeah, we get it the day of the meeting,
yeah, that, or the night before, that's when people,
and it's 5 pages long.
so. So I 100% support and appreciate the intent, but just a warning, it might not give you as much of a heads up as you're hoping for.
Well, I think what happened at that last meeting was that I think someone said, should we delay this based off of the email we got? And Justin and I were both like, whoa, what email are we talking about to delay this vote that we've been discussing for years?
And I saw some of the faces and I
Yeah.
thought, okay, someone, I guess I'll have to step up here and explain a little bit.
Right.
So I think from a department head level where we were fully prepared to have this vote, we were just utterly confused as to what the email possibly could have been. So that, or at least that's the feeling I had, and I spoke with Justin afterwards. We were like, what?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was pretty compelling.
And it would have given you time to look at it and say, well, this isn't apples and apples. Really relevant information.
And on the other side of that argument, Dave, you've been doing this for a long time, so I'm gonna ask you. Should we, I mean, I don't think there's any way to stop someone from bringing that up during a meeting. What would proper etiquette be to not refer to something like that that has not been addressed somewhere along the way? At a meeting like that? Am I wrong? I'm asking the question.
Something up to you.
Well, if it,
I mean, when you refer to it in a situation like it arose, would the proper etiquette be to not refer to that without everyone else being?
the problem is timeliness. If I got that letter 2 days ago, I could ask the chair or the administrative coordinator to make copies and pass it out to all the board members at the meeting. But if it came, 2 hours before I came to the meeting, I probably couldn't do that. I don't know.
Right, so that's where I'm kind of going with my comment. Should it not, I mean, do we need a reminder in here that it shouldn't be brought up until it's been addressed?
So
I
suppose,
don't know how far we want to go with this.
That's
Am I getting,
suppose that letter influenced your opinion or your vote.
say that again, I'm sorry.
Say, suppose you got a letter yesterday or this morning about an issue that was coming up before the committee or the board, and there was some compelling information there, convinced that you should vote a certain way. Wouldn't you want the rest of the board to know, or even the public to know what it is that you went into the decision-making process for you as to how you said, I think a lot of people think we come prepared to vote the way we were intending to vote no matter what, and that we don't listen to each other's arguments and during the debate. I can confess, not often maybe, but I can confess that I've been convinced to vote a certain way based on the debate. So, I don't know.
I have two. It's definitely put me on the fence on a decision I already had made up before I came in here.
I think what a member could do is not necessarily refer to the letter that we all got, but you could, just say, well, or you could say we all got a letter and this is what that writer said.
What if we get an individual? It doesn't go to a committee. Because think back to when the whole jail process started, I think there was probably some of us that got individual letters that then go to everyone.
Well, yeah, if you, maybe you're just, your constituents just write to you, they don't write to the whole board.
Right. I mean, do we just leave that off this?
I think we're gonna make it too complicated.
Right.
Drill down.
I agree, but I'm just,
Scenario that, okay, you know, then we're gonna
I guess
say,
if you get a letter and you're the only one that, you know, obviously got the letter, then I think it's your discretion
right,
to either share it or not.
and in that case, you don't know if they individually sent it to every board member either. They might have
no,
same letter and sent it to everybody, but
You know, if you get a letter from a constituent, they intended that to be to you.
fair enough.
send it to other people, unless they.
I'm just hashing this out so we don't have to hash it again. Sorry, guys, but
So should we add a number 5 about if you get it individually?
I think we're getting too
We're getting too-
complicated. I think
Yeah.
this boils down to good governance. And if Kathy's constituent emailed Kathy just something, I'm a constituent, I'm talking to my person, and it's just their opinion or whatever, Kathy might read that and say that was just for me and I'm gonna digest that. But if it's a constituent that says, why is X, Y, and Z happening? Why is my mill rate this, whatever? And Kathy's like, I would like to involve staff in this. I think that's Kathy's discretion
Right.
as to how she wants to handle that. I'm not sure you can put that in a policy.
No, and you know, if I get something that says, this is how I want you to vote, I'm not gonna.
Right, because that is constituent to supervisor.
Yeah, and it might be embarrassing when everybody finds out your wife told you how to vote.
Exactly.
She has good judgment. So.
So we good?
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
So how do we want to proceed?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Just have a motion to forward it to some form or other to the board.
with the changes we discussed.
And I, you know, I think double spaced or double sized font, bold and underlined about, you know, do not reply all is
Fair enough.
to become a mantra
Yeah,
process. I would make a motion that we forward it for consideration by the,
second?
You seconded it?
I'll second it,
Oh, I thought you did. That's what.
but I'll second it.
Okay.
Any other discussion? In favor? Opposed? Motion to forward it. I make a suggestion.
no more suggestions. for
No
me.
more suggestions. No, since we have HHS here, can we move them up?
Oh, man.
Consider it was a ramble.
So Kathy and I are here today because back in May, we came to get an elder benefit specialist request to fill approved, which was, the day after that was approved. One of our internal, employees showed interest in that position. She applied, interviewed, and now accepted that position. So that is leaving our ability benefit specialist position open. So we had an internal transfer, basically. Somebody moved into another position in our ADRC. So we are here to request to fill that position that she left.
And it's a transfer, right? Or are you going outside? Is that what you're saying?
So we're asking to recruit for the disability benefit specialist position because our disability benefit specialist took that elder benefits, yeah, to a different role.
Yeah, right.
So
Dropped it.
want to advertise for the disability.
But she left. Just. And 80%. Did I see 80%? 20% levy, 80% other.
ADRCs are getting more funding next year as well. It's put out yesterday. I don't know if right down yet, this is too soon. They did acknowledge that every ADRC would get. Next year was like a 5% increase. That was already this year addition. 11,000, and one was budgeted this year. This is in addition to that. Over.
So I am 100% in support of this position, but to be consistent with discussions before, are we out of order? When does Health and Human Services meet?
They met this morning, so that's why there's not a signature on the packet.
And they,
I have Phil's signature on my packet if anybody wants it.
all right,
It should go to HHS committee this morning and they approved it, so.
Question? Any other questions?
It is what it is. Pretty black and white.
I have it. Need help?
Looking for a motion?
I'm looking for a motion.
yeah,
Second.
Seconds. Any other discussion? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that it?
I think that's all we're on.
Okay, all right.
Ashley, do you have anything for me to post it? Do you need it?
I'm good. I'll post it my air tomorrow morning. Do you want it? Sure.
Have a great day.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
We'll be here. We'll be here all week.
Okay, I am filling in for highway. Justin will be available via phone if we have any questions that you guys would like to ask of him. But most of this stuff has gone through highway already too. So the first one is the highway commissioner job description that we have updated. So we, at highway committee, we've been talking about reposting that position. So when we talked about reposting that, that gave us the opportunity to go ahead and look at the job description. And we had a lot of inconsistencies in what was listed in our job description via what was listed in the ordinances, via what the position actually does. In the job description, there was a lot of things related to, or not a lot, there were a few things related to more of like the construction of actual highways, which we do not do so much of the actual construction anymore. It's more of that maintenance. So Bill Kern, who is consulting with us, and then Justin as the interim commissioner did go through these job descriptions and put in there what they felt was efficient to have in there. The highway committee also did have me put in things that were in the ordinance. So at last meeting, you guys know that we kind of slimmed down that, at last full county board meeting, we slimmed down that highway commissioner ordinance. Well, some of that information went into the job description, and then we just took out the bullets that either talking about the same types of things that the ordinance already was, or that we no longer do. And then in the education experience and skills, changed, our job description had said one thing, which is what is crossed off here, and the ordinance had said another thing. So what was in the ordinance, we brought over to the job description, and that's what's in there. And then, let's see here.
Is the red new?
Red underline is new, red crossed out is old.
Yeah.
It's deleting.
So all of this wasn't in there before?
Yeah, correct. The top stuff. Yeah. And that was coming from the ordinance. That's why I think when they redid the job description, whenever it was last updated the ordinance wasn't looked at, and so then we had two inconsistent things. And then the other big thing that was taken out under education experience and skills was we are not requiring a federal bridge inspection certification. I don't think our highway commissioners had that for a while.
So there's some history there. Maybe, I can't tell you when, but it wasn't too long ago that the highway commissioner received a an additional chunk of salary specifically for doing bridge inspections.
Might have been before my time.
Mr. Meyer, do you remember
Might have
that?
been before my time.
Yeah. Oh, I would guess that would be
What's
before
that?
It'd be,
It was before his time.
Jim's time as well.
Okay,
I came in at the end of that.
Yeah.
so it was before
Part of
the,
our discussion when,
Because it was Carl Fisher was chairman of the highway committee at the time, I believe.
I believe Mr. Impsch, when he was
Mr.
commissioner, yeah, was under that
And we had at
policy.
that time, we had a contract with Morgan and Parmley to do all the bridge inspections. And it was determined, I think, at the time, I think somebody was trying to figure out a way to increase that salary. And so my recollection is that ultimately we ended up, I believe, the highway commissioner took over the county bridge inspections. But Morgan and Parmley continued to do the town inspections. That's my recollection.
You could be right. For some reason, I'm thinking Jim Parmley was doing the town, or we were doing the towns also. I could be wrong. I could be,
Probably was doing it.
they were doing the towns.
All of them at that time. And then they shifted over and I'm sure it started out that commissioner was going to do all of them. And then it got broken up so that was going to do the county ones and the Morgan and Parmley going to do the township ones. I don't know exactly. I don't remember why that distinction was made.
I don't either, and I don't know how it got to that, but I'm almost wondering was because the individual had that capability? I guess I don't know. And was that tailored around the specific individual, or was it tailored before the individual was even brought on
I
board?
think Scott Emsch was certified to do bridge inspections.
There was a lot of weird changes that went on during that tenure. With operations manager was changed to, there was some, and I was beginning, I wasn't part of it, but it kind of looked from a 10,000 foot view, so to speak, that things were changed around individuals that were already in place.
My question was only whether when we switched over to the Carlson Detman study, whether a portion of the salary was, in other words, bridge inspections went into the salary
It's automatically rolled into it.
or whether it just was assumed, it was obvious an add-on before that. So maybe they just determined a salary including bridge inspection as a part of.
We'll have to look at that.
So that taking that out of the job description wouldn't change the salary. I just wanted to make sure that we all knew that.
Who's doing it now?
Bridge inspections?
Yeah.
TBIS. ABIS.
Contractor.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we haven't had a commissioner with the certification.
So is it really hard to get? I mean, why take it out? It's hard, really.
Yeah,
hard.
it's a lot of hours, right, Jim?
We left it in for one person that took the role, and I think we gave them like a year
It
to
says
try to acquire it.
and that didn't.
And it didn't pan out.
When they looked into it, I was informed that it was gonna be quite an extensive.
Yeah, and according to Bill Kern too, who, works with multiple different counties, it's not something common that you would have in this sort of job description anymore. Maybe back, 10 years ago or something maybe, but, not anymore. And I think even if it was graded in there, I don't know with how much we're changing this. We can get it regraded if it was in there, but I would assume that it's not going to change.
Is there
With all these other duties that are also added.
Does anybody know what we're paying for that now?
It's a grade,
Are you talking about bridge inspections or the highway commissioner?
Who are we paying, whoever's doing them, Do we have any idea what we pay them?
I don't remember.
Let me see if I can find for you.
There was a lot of confusion at the time trying to determine what it was costing, because at the same time that Morgan and Parmley were doing all the bridge inspections, there was a one-time only bridge assessment and inventory that was funded by the Department of Transportation. Morgan and Parmley did that. So that inflated the cost in the year or two prior to that, considering whether the highway commissioner could do them and save the county money. That he did them, but he didn't save the county as much money as they thought he was saving, because that one-time assessment, which I think was somewhere in the neighborhood of $10,000 or $12,000 at that time.
And that number sounds familiar.
And 10,000, I think, was what was being suggested that we pay this
Yes.
highway commissioner extra, and I think it ended up being more like 5 or 6 when they,
I had 10 in my head, but you could be right.
when we went to divide it up between the county and the towns, I think the stipend or whatever was like 6,000. And that's the other question was, I don't know whether they folded it into the salary or made it a stipend. Which.
There's some other certification that
Yeah.
is less than this federal bridge inspector that would still let them do.
I'm
Inspection.
not sure we'd want, yeah. So we had 45 short spans inspected in January. They are $350 a piece, so a total of $15,750.
But then there was some additional costs that would have came up later on those two.
Cost has gone up quite a bit.
Well, because they found problems with two and we had to do an immediate engineering assessment on it. Adam, was that like 4,000 for both of them or 4,000 a piece?
Maybe what I can see that hasn't.
Might not have gotten billed yet
Yeah.
because we got them fixed both right away. This one south of town on G and the one out on P.
Yeah, it seems like a really important skill
Yeah,
to have. I mean, even that ATV bridge, like it seems like it comes up.
It is, and I think,
When you have a problem there, it's pretty spendy.
and nowadays with the way the world has went in some cases, I think we're better off to have they do it than for us from a liability concern. We do it ourselves probably.
A third party, you say?
Yeah.
Probably. It might be something that, should periodically be put out on bids, however. This might be,
We did put it out on bids before we accepted them to do it. And I don't remember how long it was for. Pretty sure we had it out. But there's not, if I remember correctly, there's not many doing it either. That doesn't help.
I don't know if Morgan and Parmley still do them or not.
I think, I don't want to say, but I don't want to say names, but I thought there was at least a couple that. So.
Are we good with this?
One speaker.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that everybody.
Justin is on speakerphone now too, if you guys have any questions for him.
There's only one that I saw that popped out at me. And maybe I missed it here and you've got it addressed somewhere else. You crossed out on the second page, oversee the design, drawing specifications and cost for construction and maintenance of highways, roads and bridges. That one got crossed out about 4 inches down on the second page.
Yeah, I see it.
I wasn't there for that meeting when highway did this, so I'm kind of curious what the thought process was behind crossing that out, because that seems like a major one to have under that person's.
Justin, can you hear what Jim is saying? It was we crossed off oversee the design, drawing specifications and costs for construction and maintenance of highways, roads and bridges. You and Kern did this, but I am thinking, I thought you guys crossed off quite a bit with construction and we talked about a lot of stuff with maintenance.
Yeah. Is this the commissioner, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Sure. No. We get into.
Oh, the third fourth bullet from the bottom on page 1 says direct and review the planning, design, construction and maintenance of highway structures and appurtenances such as signal signs, guardrails, lighting. So that talks about the maintenance and construction of highways as well. And then
That should cover the one that was crossed out, right?
yeah, and then plan and direct an effective maintenance program for all county and state roads within the county, the fifth one down. I think those kind of. The direction from the highway committee too was, hey, we like what's in the ordinance, so put that into the job description. So these top ones are what was in the ordinance. And then some of these from the bottom that we started crossing off were ones that were in the job description, but like, hey, now that's kind of duplication of what the ordinance was saying, what we just added in. And I think, I don't know, Justin, if you have an opinion crossing that off, I think the two that I just read, do you think that covers that?
Yeah, to at the bottom here, the collaborate in said direction, or
Well, by crossing off oversee the design, drawing specifications and cost for construction and maintenance of highway roads and bridges. And then we have that we will direct and review the planning, design, construction and maintenance of highways. And then that plan and direct an effective maintenance program for all county and state roads within the county. I think that covers it.
bullet is. There's out there.
Yeah, and also the third from the bottom on the first page, direct the making and compiling of cost estimates for improvement of county roads and maintenance services.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was curious as to the change in the language regarding what I presume was changed from set direction and provide oversight to all employees highway department to maintain a cooperative and effective indiscriminated working relationship among employees of the county highway department. That sounds like,
Again, we can change that if you want, but that's what was in the ordinance and I was directed by the highway committee to bring the ordinance, into that. So if we would like to change that, I definitely can and change that back to,
But then if you read the first black line below that, Dave.
Yeah.
Kind of puts it, that put more back into it for you?
yeah, it does.
you think we
I-
don't even need that
the other-
line?
The other just sounds like something you might get at a good seminar on HR. Maintaining a cooperative. Yeah. I mean, clearly this is the executive of the highway department and there should be a clear understanding that they set and direct the employees.
In a non-discriminatory way.
So one of the things crossed out is the ability to work the allocated hours of the position and respond after hours as needed. Is that captured somewhere else?
I'm not sure, but without looking, I don't think that needs to be said. We don't say that. That's kind of your responsibility of working a salaried position as well. I don't think we have that spelled out in any other job descriptions.
Most job descriptions don't have to go at all times of the day and night, do they? Like you don't come in at 2 a.m. because it's snowing.
No, but I've gotten calls on the weekend because our employee had a heart attack or, something like that. I think I'd be expected to.
Answer.
It's almost a given.
Well, it is a
If
given
you're-
because it's a salary position.
Yeah, if you're an exempt employee.
Right. You're exempt from.
And I think that's why they're
Right?
right.
Anything else, people?
Yeah,
I don't entertain a motion to,
there was a
Go ahead.
question, and they're having to do with the ability to work the allocated hours and position. I wonder if that wasn't in there to, we obviously can't require our employees to live in the county. But I believe that some departments have the ability to require them to be capable of responding within a certain amount of time. So you know, even a worker at the highway department, if they live in Wausau, are not going to be able to report to a snowstorm on time. So I wondered if that was in there just so that a highway commissioner would have to live relatively close.
And I think it's actually more important probably for our ops
I was
manager.
gonna say for the patrol superintendent. So Justin, just correct me if I'm wrong, but a commissioner typically isn't hopping in a plow truck.
Or really taking those calls.
Typically, the commissioner is never in a plow truck. They will take calls, so say if you're a patrol super, your operation manager, has an issue, or they have some concerns or questions, they
Yeah.
will call the commissioner and ask for advice or a point of direction.
But not really they're not on site a lot after hours. It's more the patrol super.
If the patrol super is vacant.
Correct. And
Yeah, then it was.
It was, it's the number one person in the department. If there's an emergency, they need to
They
be,
better show up.
you know. And I'm just assuming that that's why that was in the job description initially, was to make sure that didn't hire somebody that couldn't respond in a timely manner.
Well, that would probably come up in the interview.
Yeah.
Not,
But you can't require them to live in the.
no, but I think we're probably smart enough to.
Well, and most likely if you're not meeting that point of responding, you're probably not meeting a lot of these other bullet, either of directing and supervising your staff and all of that.
It's not a
Yeah,
remote job.
I'm not a test of fellowship.
Anything else? We need a motion.
Yeah, and then I have a resolution to sign to go to county board.
I was assuming that some of this job description changing was to facilitate hirings, you know, the recruitment process.
Mm-hmm.
So where is that change that it would do that? I don't, is it in the education and experience area? Is that what we're talking about?
That did I don't want to say lessen it, but that did change a little bit. It's now 5 years recent comparable progressive administrative executive supervisor experience and planning experience. So you don't necessarily have to have a degree because you can have that 5 years of knowledge or graduation from an accredited college or university with one of those majors. Where before it was, I believe before it did say bachelor's degree.
Right above that.
Bachelor's with 3 years.
Yeah.
But it had that at the end, or any combination of education.
Yeah, six or more years of highway maintenance and constructions with 3 years supervisor experience. Yeah. The bridge inspection was a big one. I know nobody who applied had that. I know they were giving that within 12 months, but we knew that wasn't attainable either within that 12 months.
And why'd you take out a CDL? Just because it's more of an office position?
Yeah, they felt that we wouldn't want to hold somebody up from that because it's a very, very rare. And isn't there some sort of guideline, Justin? Correct me if I'm wrong, that in the event of a snow emergency, somebody can drive without a CDL? I mean, I'm not saying we would do that. And we'd have to weigh our liability with that too.
That.
There's the man for the job.
That's why I said we have to weigh our liability of doing.
I'm just gonna say, you know, you want to make sure that you have a very strong definition of emergency.
Yeah.
And somebody that,
Insurance policy.
and maybe somebody that worked on a farm their whole life, because you don't need a CDL for a farm. So knows how to operate that and not just jump.
Just remember, if you use a plow truck, we have to pay for mailboxes that you take off.
Are we good?
Oh, we're adequate.
We'll do for now. Need a motion?
Need a motion if they're signing.
Yeah, motion to forward to the board.
Yep.
I have a motion to forward to the board.
I'll make the motion for this.
Second.
I can say.
Thank you, sir. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, then the next one is the operation manager. So there's not as many changes there, but the same thing, since that position is open, we reviewed that job description at the same time. We changed some of the duties and responsibilities, and by we, I mean, Justin and Bill did go over that, and it went through highway committee as well. It was determined that the title Highway Patrol Superintendent does more accurately represent the nature of the position and is also a lot more consistent with the terminology that's used by other counties.
We don't
And
have to be a cop.
what?
You don't have to be a
No,
cop.
no, it's more consistent with what other counties call this position and also what DOT uses as well. So the big change is changing from operations manager to highway patrol superintendent, and then just a few of those duties. So I have a resolution for that one as well.
And Justin, part of the patrol superintendent salary is funded by the state, is that correct?
Correct, yes, so, stand corrected, I think it's a 50-50 split.
That's right.
Everybody have to sign?
So I don't remember when they changed that from highway patrol superintendent.
I think it was already changed.
I'm assuming it was when that was,
I believe so. And then when we got a hold of it, 5 years ago, roughly, whatever, we've got it a lot of responsibilities, if I remember, right, out of that. I felt a little too ticky-tacky.
So talking to other counties and then to like Bill Kern and Justin and what they're saying, some counties do have operations managers, but it's your really big counties with a lot of people on their highway departments. And the operations manager is somebody who is basically just in the office setting, doing a lot of office work and almost like the right-hand person to the highway commissioner in the office, where a patrol superintendent and what we are looking for too, and what they would have to do at Rusk County is somebody that spends a good chunk of their time, if not half or more of their time, out in the field doing some of those things, which better reflects with this role. Correct, Justin? So they have patrol soups and ops manager and a commissioner.
Essentially, an ops manager would be like a commissioner's assistant, but they would also help oversee the highway patrols, superintendent and foremen.
Any questions?
just to show you that I find things before I read them.
Do I have a spelling error?
The, the title of operations manager, job description, and then the resolved is to change it. Is there a better way to title the resolution?
I thought the same thing. I didn't know if it should be like operations manager or former operations manager, now patrol superintendent, or I'm open to suggestions for that. I wasn't,
You make it,
because we're changing the ops manager job description, but
I didn't even notice that, but it's a good point when you change it to patrol superintendent.
so on the bottom where it says now therefore be it resolved, it says changing
What's that?
ops manager to patrol superintendent, but
I would say, it'll cost a little more ink, but just a resolution to
change.
change or to amend the job description and change the title from operations manager to patrol.
I can do that. I just don't need to sign that one then, because we'll
Too
get
late.
pictures. Oh,
So we need to
motion.
motion to set forward it. with the changes?
Yeah. Make that motion.
Second?
You're still reading?
Yeah, I'm done.
I'll second it.
Okay. Favor say aye.
All right.
You need a new copy of that before we leave? Sign or?
Yeah, I can.
We had to fill vacancy for highway commissioner.
Yes. Would you know that? Yeah, I should do. Okay, so the next one is the request to fill vacancy for the highway commissioner, the highway committee. So we are now ready to repost this position. So the committee approved it on June 16th, as well as myself, Ashley, and Justin. Reminder that this is a statutory requirement that this position is filled. If we do not have a commissioner named, we lose funding.
Really?
Guess we have to name an interim.
Oh,
If Justin told us tomorrow he was done being the interim, we'd have to name,
I was,
we could name you. We'd have to name somebody.
Justin been doing it.
So he's not really this.
Justin, how long have you been, we've had an interim commissioner for over a year now. Justin, when did you start being the interim? In end of the summer or early fall?
Yeah.
Beginning of August, almost a year.
Here.
Supervisor.
Everything else.
So if you guys approve that, we would post the job after county board because we need the job description to be finalized, because I would use that job description to post.
Any questions at all?
Who is this position report to?
The highway committee.
So under supervisor, it has him. Right?
Yeah, the committee approved it as well on 6/16.
I mean,
So Justin is the department head right now of highway.
isn't the commissioner the department head?
Yeah, which is what Justin's doing right now.
But he doesn't report to himself, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. That is just an error.
So
The commissioner's supervisor is highway committee.
highway committee.
Yeah. See what you're saying now. I was looking at the bottom.
So we need a motion?
I think we do.
I would make a motion that we authorize recruiting for the highway commissioner under the revised job description.
Second. Discussion.
There was no need to review the salary or anything, right?
Well, that's a good question.
And went back to EQ or whatever.
I personally don't think so, but if you guys want to,
I'm not advocating for it. I just wanted to make sure if that was,
because they'll also look at where they're placed on our scale. And I can't see them dropping that wage at all.
with some, I think, softening of the requirements, don't feel sense to salary increase.
Exactly, and I don't think it'll increase, so.
We have a motion and a second. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I can go into my report if you want.
Sure. Things along.
Okay, so for my report, in June, like a round of applause, we had 0 terms. So,
Yeah,
oh, sorry, Justin, we can let you go. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
that'd be a first for a long time.
It's been, I don't remember last time I was able to report 0 terms, so I'm very happy about that. We did have 10 hires, 4 of which were summer help. So we had 3 maintenance summer help and an economic development tourism summer help person. So they were 4 of our 10, or yeah, 4 of our 10. Our other 6, we had our part-time breastfeeding peer counselor, a dealer dispatcher, a forester, a social worker, a patrol deputy, and then a on-call, like first responder, EMT.
Where's the jail sit with vacancies? Do they still have some?
Yep, so positions not yet filled yet are 10 total, and 2 of them are jailer dispatchers. 2 of them are patrol deputies, but both of those patrol deputies, we do have conditional offers out to, so they're going through the background psych testing, all of that right now. 2 of them are highway workers. We need a finance director, a disability benefits specialist, which we will post tomorrow or today yet. And then the highway commissioner, which will be posted soon, and an operations manager. Those are our 10 openings. A couple updates then. Want to take that? Thank you. So, since you moved the meeting, I was able to complete the second quarter comp report.
Oh,
So, you guys have a sheet, the top is the second quarter comp time summary, so that is who is all the department and the number of hours, then the liability that they carry with that comp time. And on the bottom is PTO, or for our sheriff's office, most of that is vacation. So again, the department, the number of hours, the liability. All of our department heads were emailed today with this information, and they were reminded as well of the policy that was passed, that it's their job to kind of work with their staff if they're noticing these high levels of PTO, to work with their staff to figure out why you can't take it. Can we work together to have a plan to take some of this? And this all came from helping so our staff have that work-life balance, can take their PTO, and then we don't have those requests for payouts.
so this is all people in a particular department.
Yeah, so I split it out by department.
Yeah.
And then the information that the department heads got were the actual names of their employees, so they can look individually at their
What's
employees.
the policy on PTO? Or as carryover?
You have until March 31st of the next year to use it. Whatever you have left from that previous year then goes into your extended leave bank. That can max out at 680. Comp time will get paid out at the end of the year. Last pay period of the year, if they don't use that,
Sometime gets paid out.
at the end of the year, yes.
How do you think? I mean, at one time it was a use it or lose it arrangement, right? For PTO,
Oh, was it?
for vacation anyway. I think,
Okay, that was way before me.
So nothing rolled?
vacation, I'm sure, I don't know, Connie, do you?
There was no extended leave bank or anything like that that are.
Well, at that time, your extended leave bank was sick leave,
Oh,
because that would have been prior to
One day of
PTO.
sick leave,
But I still,
day of sick leave per month, right?
Yeah.
And then we had so much vacation, but then they,
the vacation you did probably use it or lose it, because that's what the union contract is.
but I thought that the vacation, you know, that part of it, but maybe not, but it just seems to me that having the fact that you can roll it into your extended leave bank takes out a huge incentive for taking vacation. Because you're not losing anything if you don't take it. You're just taking it for the future.
What I will say is, we have 2 types of employees here, and it depends on your age. A lot of our more tenured employees are rolling it because they're looking at their retirement soon and, hey, I'm gonna max that out. Where a lot of our younger employees, there'll be a lot of time off in March because they don't want, I don't know if I'm staying with the county, I don't know if I'm gonna retire here, you know, whatever it may be, I'm gonna use that PTO so I don't lose it, because to me, putting it in my extended leave balance is losing it. Or, you know, that's how some of them think. So you have definitely have 2 types of employees.
So did they lose it? They don't.
If they don't retire here.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what I mean by, yeah, I'll lose it.
Just a curious.
That's a lot of PTO hours. Yeah.
And how much CPO can they roll over again? Sorry,
All of it rolls on the third, or up to 680 in your extended leave bank.
that's the max each individual can have.
Yeah.
So if they don't use any PTO, just some understanding.
Let's say I have nothing in my extended
They don't
leave
take a
bank.
day off, they can put it all into,
As long as 680, you're not at 680.
it's health and human services, holy cow, 5,000. I was right behind.
They have, I just did their numbers. It's the only reason I know this, but they have 42 full-time employees. So that would be between 42 employees, which is still quite high. That's over 100 hours an employee average.
And some are probably pushing the max.
You know, we've got a lot of tenure up there.
They'd be in their 30 plus days off.
122 piece. 120. And then how many total are out at highway, do you remember? That's probably higher per individual.
Yeah, 20, mid-20s.
That's 150 to 70.
They are carrying our most comp to highway that it does.
Presumably, when we fill some of those vacancies, that will help that.
Right.
Highway, a lot of people also take off in the fall. So a lot of them, you'll see
Yeah.
their hours be high until
Say
November comes. Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think it's unreasonable, say 2 weeks.
I kind of was wondering that
They
too.
go out and shoot the deer instead of running over.
Yeah, exactly.
With a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of ruins the processing. You know, run them over with a plow.
All in the tenderization.
Huh?
All in the tenderization.
I suppose.
Anything else with that? So the next update I wanted to give is regarding our health insurance plan. So Ashley and I had a meeting with J.A. Counter, who is our broker, insurance broker, a couple weeks ago. And I know a lot of you guys have asked in the past where our health insurance falls with other counties, other places of employment, like are we high, are we low, what kind of health insurance plan are we offering? So in the presentation they gave us, they did compare our plan to 3 different groups. One group was national public administration, so throughout the whole nation, all public administration. Another group was all industries in the Midwest, so public, private, all industries Midwest. And then the third is public administration in Midwest. So compared to all 3 of those, our base plan, so if you remember, our base plan is a $5,000 deductible individual, 10,000 family. Our base plan design is a little higher than average, but our total premiums are lower. So our premiums that our employees are paying are lower than average. And for our buy-up plan, our plan design and our premiums are both lower. So that's exactly what we kind of want is you have the national average and we have one plan that may be slightly higher, one plan that is lower. So you're kind of straddling that line of offering them 2 different plans. However, the big kicker, when you consider our HSA contributions that we give as a county, we are significantly better than any benchmark comparison group with our HSA. The national average for employer HSA contributions for employees only is only $987 annually. For public administration in the Midwest, it's about $1,300. Russ County provides $2,700. So we're providing a lot, twice as much as that national average, well, the average in public administration in the Midwest. The national average for employer HSA contribution for a family plan is $1,600. And for public administration in the Midwest, it's $2,200. We provide $5,100. So again, more than double as well. And then our total net exposure for our employees. So looking at the deductible that our employees have minus the HSA contribution that the county gives, plus any annual premium that the employee has to pay. Our buy-up plan far exceeds all benchmarks, which means we are offering an extremely competitive plan. And our base plan is right at benchmark compared to peer group 1, which is compared to all national public administration. And then we're far better in the peer group 2 and 3 benchmarks. So it also means we're offering a very competitive plan. So I just thought you guys would find that information
Yeah.
interesting.
Cool.
What percentage of employees utilize the HSA benefit?
Everybody who's on our health insurance, that number,
Okay.
don't think off the top. I was gonna say 134.
Something, yeah.
Everybody uses the HSA.
It's not an optional thing, it's just part of it.
Why would
Why
you,
wouldn't they?
I know, why would you opt out of it?
The only people that opt out is if they have some other primary coverage to like VA where they don't qualify for the HSA. Otherwise, I've never had somebody. I had somebody say, I'm gonna opt out, I don't need that. And then when I explain like it's
You
literally
do.
free money, they're like, oh, okay, I didn't understand it. That.
HSA was, I think, a substitute for lower deductibles. I mean, initially when
Yeah.
we made that. And I think we've actually lowered the HSA since the first,
Yes.
Yes.
which was not well received.
And you know, it's not well received, but if they were to go out and shop,
High,
it's
but,
very good.
you know, the worst thing in the world is take something away from somebody. Don't give it to them in the first place makes them unhappy, but taking it away from them if you gave it to them is not good.
And our deductibles cannot be any lower if we want to offer an HSA.
Really?
Yep, there are federal minimums.
So I have a question that, and I don't know the answer to it. Well, I guess if I knew the answer, I wouldn't ask it, but I have heard from more than one employee when we were talking about recruitment and retention, that we should be looking at our insurance benefits. That somehow somewhere there's a perception that our insurance isn't as good as somebody else's.
I was talking, I think me and Mike, we might have been talking about this. I think the hard thing is for a lot of our employees that have been here a while and haven't shopped around anywhere or looked for other
Okay,
jobs
yeah.
recently, they're thinking, I know my husband works at the school, he'll say the same thing, you know, back in the day, the teachers had such good. Well, now, no matter what school you go to, you're gonna have that same type of insurance. And I think it's kind of the same thing here too. Like you said, we took stuff away and it feels like our insurance just keeps getting worse and worse for people that have been here a while because they don't know what else is out there. Cause I've heard the same thing too. And
I
it's
mean, these
mostly
weren't-
from.
These weren't
Yeah.
chronic complainers or anything.
No,
Right? As far as I know, but there's a perception.
and it might be from people that just don't know because new employees that do come in, I can tell you, I've had new employees be like, oh, wow, this is really good. And even people have told me like, I've heard the county's insurance wasn't good, but this is really good. And this HSA is unheard of, is
So that,
what I've had people say.
And deductible is what?
The deductible is what
Physical.
most people.
and we are currently with,
UMR, GHT. Through the county's association.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I mean, there was a time, a long time ago maybe, when we had Blue Cross Blue Shield, I recall, that we practically kept a person in the clerk's office busy arguing about claims. But it was, and, you know, I know that security is pretty good about claims, and I think, but so if we have good coverage,
This
and
was our first year with UMR.
we don't have a lot of claims disputes and denials and all that stuff, right?
I've heard good, I have not heard any negative things about our switch to UMR. They've been really good. And I know from my standpoint, they've been very responsive.
That's good, because, you know, I don't care what the premiums are, if the coverage sucks or you have to fight for every bit of approval.
Right.
So
Somebody's out there,
not fun.
high premiums, and they
Yeah.
run you through the mill, deny all your claims, and that's not worth it.
So Connie, the trails folks are milling. Can they go to the other room? We put them in another room. Is that possible? Or we just gotta be done in 13 minutes? Okay.
Although we need an excuse to quit.
Right.
Somebody's,
I mean,
Somebody's waiting for us
Yeah, there's another
I
meeting at
can.
4:30.
here?
Yeah.
I
So-
can put them in the small conference room.
Milling.
Gotta figure out who's gonna do minutes.
What? Oh,
Right.
because you do the.
It's double duty, yeah.
What's the after but me?
How big you book it? Oh, because we moved it back to Thursday.
I can.
The holiday.
Like me to do chair.
I think we only have 2 more.
Let's see how far we get. We got
All right.
15 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, I'm out of here at 4:30.
Okay,
All right, just,
I've only got 12 minutes.
okay. Well, that says 13.
I think, it'd be good for the board to hear some good news that
Yeah.
we're providing to the employees. I'm wondering, should this, something, this
We'll put it on
insurance
the agenda.
be
Yeah.
presented to the board?
Yeah. Because then it gets out in the public.
I think
This would too, but not as,
Because it's constant, I get it.
well, we're constantly getting beat up because it's either salary or benefits suck, and that's not true.
And sometimes it's just like, you guys made the comment, it's just educating yourself. It's nothing against anyone. I get the same way. I'm like, oh, but then when you finally look into something a little deeper, it's like, oh,
And we have thought about sharing it too with our employees too, because we have heard
I
that kind
think
of,
you should.
just so they're aware.
I think it'd be good to share with it. Now, we're locked into a price increase this year, right?
A max of 9.5
Okay.
increase, yeah.
But we're locked in with that, no matter.
That's,
Yeah.
will not be higher than 9.5.
Okay, so we don't have to negotiate there. And
it's not gonna be less than 9.
It will be
We put
too.
9.5 in the budget, yeah.
With our claims, it will.
cross our fingers.
I'll tell you, some of the nonprofits that I work with have got some huge last year, big 30%, 35%. Yeah, terrible.
They got no leverage.
And it didn't have anything to do with, excessive claims or anything. It was just plain, whatever, insurance company using it as an excuse.
Good with that?
Yep.
Okay.
We can skip back up to you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, I was printing. Sorry about that. No concerns on the Corp Council budget. One thing to note though is that Corp Council is conflicted out on a zoning matter. So we might have to look at getting outside legal counsel on that. We can talk about that later, but just so you're aware, that might be coming. And then on the admin coordinator HR budget, since this was put in the packet, we actually have received reimbursement for our half, or the other half of the IHO expenses, so that will book as a revenue. Yeah, so that line should end up kind of evening out there. And then we still have not restarted negotiations with sheriff deputies. So while no expenses are hitting right now, they're obviously still coming. Just to keep you aware of that. And then that would require a motion, please, if you will.
Have a motion to approve the budget report.
I would make a motion, we accept it.
okay.
Favor say aye. Aye. Carried.
Okay, so I think the last thing is discuss possible implementation of satisfaction survey. So after the last board meeting, there were several board members that had brought that up in the full county board meeting that, maybe we need to look at doing some sort of satisfaction survey. And then I had a couple of individual board members reach out as well. So I had asked Mr. Russell to put this on the agenda. I do have a little something written up, but first I can open the floor to you guys, or you guys can decide how we want to use these last 9 minutes, 8 minutes.
Well, this will take way more than 8 minutes.
Do you, again, put them in the other room.
Can you just show us what you wrote and then we can think about it and talk about it next month?
Yeah. So
Proposed.
sure. So as I said, that several board members had looked at doing that and wanting to do kind of that satisfaction survey to look at our morale and our culture. As HR, I do understand and support the desire to gain that insight of our staff members to see how they're feeling. However, I just want to offer some context and raise a few considerations and really want some clarity of the goals and expectations before we would decide on a course of action. So I did put down that first, we would need to clarify intent and expectations. So what would we be hoping to learn from the survey? what specific outcomes would we be looking for? And is the full board, are you and the full board prepared to act on the findings? So if we receive feedback indicating that our employees are dissatisfied with wages or the amount of PTO they get or their health insurance or accountability or department level concerns, whatever it may be, are we committed to making changes and are we able to make changes in those areas? A tool is only going to be as good as the follow through that we can have. So as you all have known, Russ County has done its fair share of studies, collecting data, hiring firms to tell us what we should do, et cetera. But implementation of some of these things have sometimes stalled out. So this creates skepticism among employees. And if they think we are not going to do anything with the results, I fear we're not going to get participation in the results that we're hoping for and could do more damage. So if you guys recall, last fall, we did talk about this a little bit and I was directed to ask other counties what they all do. And the biggest advice that I had received from them is do not do a survey if you do not have the infrastructure or the ability or the courage to make big changes and to talk openly about the feedback. So if we are simply going to send a survey, read the results and ignore them or just study the results, the county is not ready. So the board needs to be ready and have the courage to make changes because if not, we could risk hurting our organization more because we were going to create hope from these employees that change can happen. And if it doesn't, it could make everything worse than before we asked them with frustrations. So my recommendations, if we proceed, is that we have clear communication. So being transparent with employees about the purpose. The satisfaction survey would not be like a grievance form. It's about identifying priorities in the county that we can work for countywide improvement. It should focus on broad organizational trends, not personal grievances or one-off situations. Administrative oversight, the board cannot act on specific personnel matters. HR and county administration must be empowered to create the survey, administer it, report results along with proposed next steps. And then a defined follow-up plan. So we should outline in advance how results will be used. So like, do we have any boundaries? Can we consider policy changes? Can we consider wages? Can we training initiatives, leadership coaching, wages and benefits, that sort of thing. So in closing, a well-balanced employee survey can be a very powerful tool, but only if we pair it with the commitment to make those hard changes. And I would definitely be on board of doing that and helping with that to design a data-driven, transparent survey.
Send those comments to all of us. Just said,
Would that be helpful?
yes.
So my last sentence was just, I'd like to better understand what level of follow through the committee envisioned so that we could do this responsibly and not risk losing employee trust.
I think we all should think about that before we.
So
I've been involved in a bunch of these in organizations that had the ability to change them. Change the organization. It wasn't this kind of setting where you had 17 or 19 people trying to herd cats. I know Kathy knows I'm a skeptic. Really, really good if you are committed to like Ashley said, if you're committed to the changes and you have the ability to make the changes. So I'm a big fan of, I don't want to go on too much longer, but we'll try and wrap. So Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, has this circle of concern, circle of influence, circle of control type of thing. In order to make this work, you have to have this, we have to be in the circle of control. Because the downside is extremely serious. You think you've got problems now, just do this and then let it fall through the cracks. Then we've just told everybody to give a rat's butt what you think. Well, ask what you think, but we're not going to do anything about it. We have to be really, really, I'm just cautioning us all. They can do a lot of good
gonna table it and
Well,
review
I'm
her
sure we
comments.
to do more discussion and more
Yeah.
time. But just to add to what you've said, there's two things. One, it's very difficult to commit yourself to doing something about which you cannot do anything about because
Correct.
the demand is greater than your capacity. However, now that Ashley's statement is on the record, if we don't do anything, then we are telling the public that we don't, quote, have the courage to make the changes. So if not doing anything is not going to improve our employee morale, if we've already told them that we're not going to do the survey because we're not going to do anything about what the survey might tell us we ought to do if we don't do anything.
No,
So I think we're almost committed, I think, to doing something. And I think we should be committed to doing something for reasons other than because we don't want to be accused of not having the courage to do it. But anyway, I think we need to look at specific instruments. It may not be applicable, but I know that the hospital did such a survey a few years ago, and it was very informative and very helpful. So there are ways of at least finding out, because we're being told what the problem is. If we have a morale problem, if we have a recruitment and retention problem, we're being told what the major causes of that might be. And if I would like to know whether that's all of the case or not. So that's where I think we need to do something.
So where I currently am employed at, every year I get a survey from a third-party company called Perceptics. And they're very generic, broad questions. And it starts with strongly disagree, neutral, agree, strongly agree. And then they have a comment at the bottom. I remember I should take a screenshot of the darn thing, but anyhow, I just did one not that long ago. And I think they can be very constructive if people are honest. But I think there also needs to be, to Mike's point and Ms. Gooda's point, the expectation out there that we're going to use this as a tool going forward with no promises. If we're going to do it. Because our hands are tied from a monetary standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would hope that people at work here would understand that. And I would hope that they would, if we do it, that they would answer it honestly and fairly.
With that in
And
mind.
not just with malice or to screw up the whole survey, because that doesn't do any good.
With the intention of maybe being a part of the solution.
Yes.
Yeah, not adding to the problem.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, I think it could be done if we keep it short and sweet. But yeah, and then I think if we're going to do it, but there again, I have no idea what the cost is. I think it should be done by a third party.
Yeah, it should be. School did it 2 years ago and it turned out pretty well. We did a Google Docs thing.
Is that what you mean by a third party though?
Pardon?
Is that what you meant by a third?
Well, we had, we had somebody do the questions too. So you don't. They're slanted the right way, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Or they try and phrase them so you try and capture the right response to what you're saying, not lead them down a road. At least capture what you're trying to find out.
You have that one, or can
I
you?
get it. Want to see it?
I have what all the other counties do too. A lot of them responded. A lot of them did say they do not utilize a third party because of the cost. They do it confidentially with like a Microsoft Forms, but I have a lot from what other counties had said too.
Survey Monkey and a few.
Survey Monkey, yeah. I get it, Kathy, if you want to look at it.
Why would you do something as serious as doing surveys and then make it unserious by calling it Survey Monkey? It's kind of like that fun hustle thing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and to your point, Dave, I'm not saying it can't be done this way. But I really want to look at that hard because I want the employees, I mean, I look at mine and I know it's a third party company. In the back of my head, I'm like, okay, is my employee ID somewhere attached with this? It has to be because it came to me. It came through my company email. So I'm trusting this third party company to keep that, but they're also being paid by someone that took it. So I'm trusting the process to not be tainted.
You cannot see, I do exit surveys through Microsoft Forms and there legit is no way I can see who did them.
Yeah, it's,
I'm not, I mean, anybody could come look at my computer site if they don't believe that.
Well, Survey Monkey, you cannot see when somebody responds, how they
you
respond.
can't crack into.
Survey Monkey, there's a way to see.
Yeah, we don't have a survey monkey.
We don't have Survey Monkey though. I use Microsoft Forms. And the way to do that too is to send everybody the same link. So that way it's not, if you're getting it to your personal email, it's most likely tied back on the back end where you can look somehow. When you individually send it that way, if you're sending the same link to everybody, that's when you can't tie it back to,
Well, the link comes to my email
yeah.
So we're
directly from it.
this, that
Yes, so we,
adjourn.
Yeah.
Now, we did a employee, a performance review for CEO with nonprofits. And, you also have to be careful about the written comments. Because anyone that, has been around the organization for a while knows
who it was.
What?
who knows the big words and
Yeah.
who doesn't. So they can look at the comments and say, Willingham.
Yeah, that's Willingham.
That's his writing.
And that's the words he uses all the time.
There's swear words in there.
Yeah.
It's Russell.
It's Russell.
I would make a motion, we adjourn.
We're gonna bring back some more ideas. That's our.
Yes.
All right.
And I'll email you guys all those thoughts.
This is not something we should take lightly nor
No.
not do good work. Right before we.
Could someone dig up that other survey that was done a couple, 3 years ago or whatever too? Just as,
For 2 years in a row, I think, surveys, yeah.
and who did those? I mean, just, we don't have to discuss that now, but maybe bring them back as examples.
You were only mentioned twice. That's what I heard.
Who, me or you?
Survey, I say you were only mentioned twice.
No, I'm disappointed.
Okay.
It ruined my day.
And I can tell you what office it
We are
came from
adjourned.
too.
4:35.